Kenyans are planning a peaceful protest to release Nnamdi Kanu. What's your take? Do you endorse this particular movement?
Well, I will only be grateful to God that such a thing is coming up. The day Nnamdi Kanu is released is the end of the Nigerian Civil War. And that will be the day the Southeast starts being integrated into the rest of the country.
Hello everyone and welcome back. So according to Chief Dan Ulasi, he said the day Nnamdi Kanu will be released, that will be the end of a civil war in Nigeria, because according to him, civil war is still going on. And also he gave his full support to this movement of free Nnamdi Kanu now protest. But before I allow you guys to listen to everything that he said in this video, because he discussed another matter which is very, very insightful. So Showore posted this today and he said, Nigeria illegal IG of police dispatched police lawyers to sue me in an effort to halt the free Nnamdi Kanu now protest scheduled for Aso Rock Villa on Monday. However, the judge, Justice Omar of Federal High Court in Abuja, refused to grant the expert motion, instead instructing him to serve me notice and adjourning the case till Tuesday for proper hearing. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. So this is what Showore posted some minutes ago, that they are trying to stop him from this particular move of protest. Free Nnamdi Kanu now. But according to him, the judge refused and ordered them to serve him notice until Tuesday for proper hearing. So as you can see, they are trying everything to stop this movement, and they don't want the protest to take place. This is why people are saying that if you don't want the protest, why not release Nnamdi Kanu before the D-Day, right? So look at another headline here, that Ohaneze youth declare shutdown of the businesses by Igbos nationwide October 20th. So they are urging Igbos, wherever you are in Nigeria, even all over the world, that it really, want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. You need to, be at home, just like sit at home that day if you are not able to join the protest, which I believe that this is a great move. And also look at this particular headline that really shocked a lot of people, that the bandit will never honor peace deal. Defense chief warns Nigeria communities against negotiating with criminals. Like, does it mean that Nigeria military, they are not aware that some communities are having peace deal, peace meeting with bandits and terrorists? Like, are they not supposed to be aware, my people? Like, what is going on in Nigeria? Like, it is kind of shameful for, defense chief to come out to say a thing like that. Does it mean that they are not aware? And Nigerians, they are not having it, which they are reacting. So this person said, what is this one even saying? Ona they do on our work as on a suppose now. Communities, they negotiate with bandits and terrorists. I promised myself I wouldn't comment on these kind of issue, but annoying statements like the above news forced my hand. And another person said, where is the military when these negotiations take place? We keep having so many generals in the military, but our communities are daily overtaken by criminals. Isn't it shameful? And this person said, so why not arrest them during the negotiation of peace deal? Exactly. If they know very well that at the end of the day, the bandits will never honor or keep the peace deal. So why not arrest them during that peace negotiation? And another person said, is it normal? Is it not the defense chief to take action, or is he trying to tell us that he is figurehead defense chief? And this person said, if only your organization is doing well in protecting the citizens, those communities will not consider negotiating with the terrorists and bandits. And another person said, he is indirectly saying all communities, they are on their own. Why don't you protect the border? That is where army are supposed to be, in big forests fighting insurgency. Exactly. My people, as you can see, it seems that these bandits and terrorists have already overpowered our army. Yes, because our army seems incapacitated. It's like they don't even know what to do anymore. This is why I laugh at some people that are saying the reason why America, they are not talking about this Christian genocide is that they want to come to Nigeria to take our resources, that they are not going to help Nigeria Nigeria without taking anything from Nigeria. Then I ask again, is the resources more important than the life of Nigerians? Anyway, I will leave you guys here to watch the full video and hear everything Chief Dan Ulasi said. Please do well to watch the video to the end and also share it, like the video so that YouTube will recommend it to other people to watch, and also leave your thoughts in the comment section. Through your comments, we all learn as well. Subscribe if you haven't, and thank you so much for doing so.
The movement for the freeing of Nnamdi Kanu, there is a movement planning a peaceful protest to release Nnamdi Kanu. What's your take? Do you endorse this particular movement?
Well, I will only be grateful to God that such a thing is coming up. Nnamdi Kanu regards me as his uncle, regards me as his elder brother. I've gone to see him at the DSS 3 times. I was at the court where the Court of Appeal gave judgment in his favor. I was at the Supreme Court where the Supreme Court, 9 out of 10 statements, set him free and only said they should go back to first court again for trial. That's an unprecedented move in the judiciary process in this country. You can understand that they condemned everything the federal government ever did against him, and yet still they will go back for trial. So it is one very touchy issue to me personally, because that's a very brilliant Nigerian that this government or previous government that started this nonsense, they are just wasting him. And you don't know, and this is why things are not working. Ask me, what has Nnamdi Kanu really done? Because he is talking about freedom and appreciation of his people. That's a summary of what he's doing. Tell me what he's doing. Is it worse than what is happening today in Zamfara? That I hear there's a new Boko Haram group called Wolo Wolo or something. I saw it on AIT News. They have taken over the whole state. Northeast is gone, in scatters. Now they're attacking, what is it called? Plateau. I can see in the news now that the Senate is, the Congress of America is discussing the issue of Christian massacre in Nigeria. They want to find out because there's a report now, a debate going on in the American Senate about that incident. Now there's real crisis in this country, and the president appears as if nothing is going on. Look at the recent killing in Benue State, up to today unexplained. There's more than how many hundreds killed in Plateau State, unexplained. Zamfara is almost taking over. Our governor can't even, I think he's running Zamfara from Kaduna. So when you talk about that, in all these circumstances, has Nnamdi Kanu done anything that's almost 1% of what is going on in the rest of the country? Apart from occasional stops and gyration. Tell me what is happening in the Southeast. In fact, the Southeast might be the most peaceful place. Apart from this occasional stuff of people kidnapping one thing or the other. And they do it as a result of, protest on Nnamdi Kanu. There's a pretext to commit crime because Nnamdi Kanu is held. If this was a fairly intelligent government, if they release Nnamdi Kanu today, there will be 95% peace in the Southeast. And that will affect the rest of the country.
Why do we think the Southeast governments are not key or doing much to free Nnamdi Kanu?
Well, that's a very difficult question for one to answer, in the sense that one would have expected what you said to be the factualization of the situation. But of all these governors, only Soludo of Anambra said had gone to DSS once to see him, if I'm not wrong, about a year or 2 years ago. He's gone there to see him, and after that, maybe his colleagues advised him not to get involved. Why are they afraid? The young man is very popular in the Southeast. Let me not extend it to the rest of the country. If Nnamdi Kanu comes out today, Igbos will do 90% of what he tells them to do. To the interest, not just in Igbo interest, but the Nigerian interest. Because what has he spoken about in the past? Mistreatment of his people. And if that is continuous and the rest of the country don't want the Igbos, then let them allow them go. This is the summary of what he's saying. How can you can't be shorter than me and be taller than me at the same time? This is the summary of Nnamdi Kanu's theory. So he didn't start today. Hazurike has done the same thing. There's so many other people. It was the concept of Odumegwu Ojukwu himself. If you don't want your people, then let them go. And as when people talk of let them go, it appears if we are packing our luggage and going. Look at the contiguity. Look at Nsukka and Benue. There's no place anybody is going. It's the same country. The same market, in the same. So much of intermarriages has taken place. All we're saying that there is no governance. The summary is that there is no governance. That's what is causing all the problem. The problem of corruption has become both phenotypically and genotypically specific. That's nothing, it's a genetic problem now. And it is that crisis that government is not even ashamed that they said 139 million Nigerians very poor in a country of plenty. And my president John case to Paris, from there to what is it called, to Dubai. I have never seen a group of people that are shameless. In a country, 774 local governments, I challenge them. Let them tell you where water is running. Where? Water. So people are dying because of waterborne diseases, and they don't care. And it's even more, you see, like I was saying before we started this, if these governors were sons of Ahmadu Bello, or Emma Baro, or Azikiwe, or Awolowo, they would say, oh, they had determined their future. They are coming from a position, a background of wealth. But tell me which of these governors not coming from a very poor environment? Most of them, their parents have never been heard of. Most of them, when you hear the history of how they managed to go to secondary school, and finally God bless them, they become governors. So what they are paying back to society is stealing up money. I was telling somebody this morning who confronted me, Dan, what do we do? What do we do? Lead a democratic revolution. I said, I don't have the resources. I can't. I've been in PDP, not even director, because I won't comply with what they said. Yesterday we had a National Reconciliation Committee meeting. Out of 25 members, only 8 were there. So it means that part of those who have joined APC, majority are coming out from PDP. So going to APC, what is the fundamental reason why you go to? It's because if you're moving from A to B, B must be better than A. So what has APC done that should be exciting to anybody to want to leave PDP? Because PDP has a track record under Obasanjo. There was debt relief that saved millions of lives in this country. Since then, what has happened? 8 years of Muhammad Buhari was a disaster in this country. I said it on this channel and other channels, even when he was in government. It was a disaster. There was no governance. And this president, when he was campaigning, said he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. He's now seen the true nature of where Buhari stopped. How beautiful where Buhari stopped is for the rest of the country. Isn't that a tragedy? In 21st century Nigeria, with everything God has given us, we don't know where we are beginning and where. If you don't know where you're starting, how do you know where you're going? And we take it as a matter of routine. Nothing is going. It's in our case, they say, let's leave it for God. So we are the only people God created. If we decide to be foolish, then He will be foolish with us.
All right, we'll return to party politics. But the case of Nnamdi Kanu, why do you think he's still being held? In all that we've seen, appeal court released him, Supreme Court admitted that yes, but go back. Why do you think
that is still a battle of the continuation of Nigerian civil war? The war has not ended. I think it was on China's TV. I had an interview. Like I said, the day Nnamdi Kanu is released is the end of the Nigerian civil war, and that will be the day the Southeast starts being integrated into the rest of the country. Look at insecurity everywhere. So is this government enjoying insecurity? That their citizens are being killed? Like you were saying something earlier on. Why are our governors in the South not interested? Because the boy will overwhelm everybody. It will be an MI Bara. The people worship the name Nnamdi Kanu in the Southeast because he represents the summary of their struggle from before the Civil War and thereafter. That's how they look at him. I have stopped going to court because each time I come to court to join him, both of us start crying, and I feel very emotional about it. He's a very brilliant young man that this government is wasting. Would have been a benefit for the rest of us in this country, but this is where we are. This is where we are.
All right, we have gale of defection across the length and breadth of the country, and the PDP seem to be worst hit. Main opposition party, but we see the governors leaving. Yesterday, it was Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State that has defected. What does this imply for democracy?
I must say something. It's one governor I'm very weak at criticizing because he has done excellent work. But I haven't seen any governor that passed through Enugu that has done what he has done in under 2.5 years. In fact, when you enter Enugu, you think it's a governor doing his second term. You won't believe he's just doing 2.5 years. all the abandoned property, projects for Chimaroke. He's almost completing them. Almost. Asphalting almost every road you can imagine in the capital city and some other areas in 2.5 years. So I find it difficult to start to think, why is he moving? APC did not make him. We need a struggle we pass through. So sometimes I ask, they may have reasons we don't know about. It's difficult to imagine that somebody is leaving the known to the unknown. If there is anything APC has done, particularly exciting or profitable to the Southeast, then we say, well, this is a good reason. You can't explain, it's inexplicable that you're moving from the known to the unknown. When we were looking for governance, there was APC, it was existing, APC was there. And then you chose PDP for whatever reasons, you convince yourself with. And then having done that, and you won an election on that platform, defeating the same APC and other parties that ran, and then you suddenly wake up to want to go to APC. There must be something sinister about it. And I'm seriously thinking, you start thinking that there must be some, corruptive tendencies going on. Maybe they take some papers to them.
All right. From all you said, is PDP still strong to go into 2027 election and expect to win?
We have 9 governors. We had 10 governors yesterday morning. Now we have 9. If a party has 9 governors, how many governors had APC when they started against PDP? That's not virtually nothing. What is his name? Muhammad Buhari lost election 3 times before he came up with the alliance with Tinubu, and they formed APC, and they won. So if our 9 governors are anything serious and sit down to plan, because this is strategic thinking, it is not a function of armchair theoreticians. No, you have to sit down. And do they look like people who are strategically thinking how to face Tinubu if they have not been compromised already? And it explains the spate of defections going on from PDP to APC. This is not the function of people who are serious to take over government. I haven't seen any of them. In fact, look at the election of 2023. The governor of Oyo State gave Tinubu 600,000 votes, and PDP had about under 400,000. So where do you think he's an active, hard-working governor? But that's an indication of where their interest is.
P2B, people are saying he should come back to the PDP. Why should he come back to the PDP?
Well, what I'm saying is politics everywhere in the world is not a function of statistics. In terms of, if you look at what is going on in America, if America is not a stable country, Trump had run the place down. America is almost going. In fact, the news in America now is about this lock of what is happening in Gaza. That's trying to give Trump a new beginning. But the disaster in America, his spoken words, you cannot believe this is a country over 250 years in democracy. It all talks like a thug. So sometimes you look at America, you have sympathy for Nigeria. If they are that, horrible at that level, we're emulating them, and you don't see any standards they keep. The only thing that, if you see a Democrat, you say Democrat, you hardly hear this moving from here to there. But the nature of governance is nothing too exciting for one to copy. Not when you look at Trump. That's nothing to talk about.
So what do you think can make P2B excel in 2027?
Okay. Look at this way. In the last election, if I tell you honestly, P2B won that election, 2023. I can privately, authoritatively say so. He had 6.something million votes. Atiku had 6.something million votes. The president won with 8.something million. Even after all the nonsense that happened in Lagos State. And most places in the north, they suppressed his vote. And I did warn him. In fact, about 4 weeks ago, he was in my house in Enugu. I said, nothing has changed. People are prepared to vote for you, but you have to be prepared to take care of them to protect your vote. Because if you don't protect your vote, you're not going anywhere. He's the only one who can effectively and positively challenge this government and win. Because when you listen to him, very brilliant mind, that he said in 2 years you can turn any economy around unless you want to steal. if you're not going to be compromised with all these criminals in government, it's not rocket science to turn this country around, because we have the resources so to do. Yeah? But when borrowing comes up and you don't know where the money borrowed is supposed to, isn't that a sad episode?
And there are those who are wooing former President Goodluck Jonathan to join the fray in 2027.
That shows you how foolish the country is. How did he lose in 2015? They should have asked him. And on an interview with the AIT or channels, I said I met him 5 times as president of Nigeria on his invitation. And on one occasion, I told him that he was going to lose this election. He said, "Dan, if not the respect I have for you, I will walk you out of my office." And that his ambassador in China is from Kanu. His ambassador at the United Nations is from here. And that the election is finished. That was the last time I went to his office. Then 2 weeks after, his secretary to government, Pius Anyi, called and said to hell. I see how they lost, woefully. A man that had governance at Plata. And he just threw it away because he wasn't thinking. And I knew what his problem was then, but I won't say it and they are calling him to come back. Nothing absolutely exciting about him. Even before the result was announced, he had already considered defeat to Tinubu. They are counting it as part of his legacy. That result had not. Have you had anywhere in the world that you can consider only when the result has been announced? He considered defeat. That was why the former deputy governor of Edo State, who was his campaign manager, what's the name of that fellow? Ogadome. Was mad. He was still in the hall where votes were being counted. The president has considered defeat. Called Buhari to congratulate him. It happened in this country. Ogadome was crazy. Saying no, they don't accept. And they told him the person you are working for has considered defeat. He said the result had not been called. So is that the character of person? What did he do? He comes from the south, comes from Bayelsa. Was he able to impress anything on Bayelsa? Instead, they are asking to please some people from some parts of the country they believe own Nigeria. That is the legacy he left behind, unfortunately. Unfortunately. If God gives you the ability, the opportunity to help your people, try and help them, honestly. We have a situation in this country, we'll give you 1 naira to function. They eat 80 kobo. And they suddenly discover that 20 kobo will not do anything. Like they eat the remaining one because nothing will happen. And nothing happens. Nothing happens. This is why I was sad that this young man in Enugu had to leave PDP to go to APC. So what is the reasoning? If you leave A to B, B must be better than A. Is APC better than PDP? At least we have a legacy record of debt relief for Nigeria. What 8 years of what is his name, Muhammad Buhari? There was no governor. We're now in the 2nd year. Like I had given credit to this president. If anybody, including Peter Obi, had taken over after Muhammad Buhari, they won't perform any magic. The only thing is probably the person who would have planned better. Before you remove subsidy, you plan and you have a team to anticipate what will happen when you remove it, and you try to find out how to cushion it. But he didn't do that. He just went on after swearing in, I removed subsidy, as if he's talking, giving his wife money for lunch. I removed this, I did this. He don't run government and pages of newspaper. A serious being. Look at where Nigeria is now. Almost irreversibly damaging the whole process. Died poor people. God gave them opportunity to want to remedy the situation with their people. And they eat the money. I was telling somebody, there's a suburb of London called Golders Green. 100 and something houses locked up, all owned by Nigerians. Put me. My principal when I was, my partner when I was active in science and medical equipment said, Dan, is there any school in Nigeria where you people train people how to steal money? Because anybody who makes honest money cannot come and buy a house in London or Dubai, and his people only stay there for 1 month in a year when they come on holidays, and he locks it up. So if you go to Golders Green, you will see a lot of breakups, windows broken, because white people who are hungry go there at night to break them and steal whatever they can. Only Nigerians own such properties. Something must be fundamentally wrong.
Let's look at the state of the nation. Recently, the President Bola Tinubu had the presidential pardon, and so much controversy has trailed that. because of the number of drug offender.
Look at the woman that killed her husband.
Miriam Sander, think that killed her husband. So all of this, what's your take?
Was that a national priority? That's the only answer I'll give you. a drug baron, a lady who killed her husband, hasn't spent 5 years in prison yet, and you give them pardon. I said there must be a different conceptualization of leadership, of governance, that this man is having. That who is he trying to impress? Well, look, as you said, you rightly said, look at the problem it has elicited in the society. All the drug barons who were bringing in drugs, and our young men and women were taking them and dying. These are the people who are granting pardon. Have they discussed it in whatever form? That these are people who have committed murder. People think it's only when I take a gun and kill you. No, I can kill you by word of mouth, by actions taken or inactions. When every opportunity is a force multiplier. But in this country, opportunities are not force multipliers. They are killers. They are killers. We don't see a government that, like I was telling somebody, when we have programs in the morning, either like Kakaki program, 7:30, 8, governors are sleeping. They don't see that thing we're saying. They are sleeping. And these are the people who are supposed to be addressed. They listen, okay. So we went on a meeting and I said, in a country where the only way you win is by rigging. You know people, the ones people vote. We started hearing new languages of glitches. New languages come out when there is problem in Nigeria. You have 2 major elections in a day, one of National Assembly and presidency. The National Assembly is sent, and the other one is caught up with glitches. There were a lot of transformations they proposed. These beavers and that supposedly to help make the electoral process a lot more understanding, a lot more honest, a lot more transparent. But did it achieve that? I doubt if it achieved that. Because the election that brought Tinubu was neither here nor there. Unlike the one that brought, that was a presidential candidate who won, I think, Yaradua, and said that the election that brought him, the election Yaradua was faulty. He said that. That was the only human being that admitted the dishonesty that brought him to power. But not today anymore.
Welcome to Chamress News TV.